the Confident Communicator Manual. He'll be talking about project number 6. Project number 6 is focused on vocal variety. Ken will be looking to use voice volume, pitch rate, and quality to reflect the meaning and interest to his message. At the same time, we'll look to pauses and for how he can enhance his points during his message. And finally, his use of vocal variety to be smooth and natural throughout the presentation. Ken's speech is 5 to 7 minutes. And please help me welcome Ken to the podium. Thank you.
I started running because my back hurt playing basketball. Basketball was extremely hard on my body. So I decided to do something that was, by people's estimation, even harder on my body, and that was run. For no apparent reason. The crazy thing is the first 2 to 3 miles, when I first started running, I started running 2 to 3 miles at first. Kind of working my way into it. I didn't really like it all that much, but one of the things happened is my back got better. I didn't have any pain. I didn't wake up with pain anymore. I chalked it up to maybe doing one thing over and over again, repetitively, not moving side to side and being hit by other men. I chalked it up to that. Well, not only was I beginning to feel better, I was actually losing weight. I thought, oh, okay, this could be good. Most people that I've talked to about running, they would say, golly, I can only go out and run a couple of miles. Well, and it's horrible. Well, I started going out and I ran 2 to 3 miles, then I ran 5 miles, and something happened. Something clicked in my head. I got to tell you, it wasn't a runner's high, but I was rejuvenated. It seemed like every mile I went, I could go farther and farther and farther and farther. It was supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Nothing like it in the world. I also don't think negative thoughts when I run. I don't know why, but it's a great time for me to get to think, and I love the open trails. So I fell in love with trail running. And then I started going 10 miles. And then I started going 12 miles. And then I started going 15 miles, and 18 miles, and 20 miles, and then I got hurt. I got what they call plantar fasciitis. And I'm going to explain to you my Born to Run testimony, or my Born to Run revelation, and how has it affected my life. First, you got to start at the beginning when I started to learn how to run. I didn't really learn how to run. I asked a friend of mine, Allison, who was an ultramarathoner who was crazy. She'd run these 100-mile races over the Sierras, and we used to tell her, hey, you need a car, we'll just give you a car. No big deal. I got a car, go 100 miles. What happened was she told me, just go run. That's what we all do. We don't read a book or get any kind of education on running. We just go out and run. So that's what I did. And 6 months later, I was hurt. And I was hurt bad. I had all kinds of things going on with my legs, but the main thing was my feet, plantar fasciitis. Plantar fasciitis is the tearing of tendon that goes from here to here. And that tendon, when it tears, creates little tears, and those tears are extremely painful. And when you do that, at night, when you go to bed, you wake up in the morning, you step on your feet. Well, those tears have healed somewhat overnight. When you step on them out of bed, it hurts tremendously because you stretch out that tendon. Some people have a hard time even walking from their bed to the bathroom or wherever they got to go. And I had that. It was incredible. So I did what any good runner would do. I went and saw a doctor. And what I found about doctors, foot doctors, podiatrists, is they treat a lot of the symptoms, but the cause is always left to be discovered. I could be very jaded in this category because I went through a lot of pain. And $1,600 later, after seeing a doctor, I was even in worse pain. I had done all the things they taught me to do, and I was in worse pain. So I took matters into my own hands. And there are 3 things that doctors tell you to do, and I was doing them. But they just weren't working. One of them was ice, and the ice felt better for a time, and then you do need the ice. The other thing is massage. They have you roll your foot over a ball. Okay, it's massage. It breaks down scar tissue. But the third thing is where they make their money is in support. All kinds. I probably have 15 different kinds of footbeds and custom-made footbeds, and on up to $600 for a footbed. So I got frustrated and decided, you know what, I'm going to take matters in my own hands. I'm going to figure this thing out. Well, it wasn't, I'm not sure, maybe it was a week later, Heather gave a speech on these goofy shoes. And I was intrigued. I then got a book from a gentleman who's a very good friend of mine, who doesn't run, but he read this book. He just thought it was intriguing. He read it. It was called Born to Run by Christopher McDougall. And this book right here changed my life. I was running with a guy one day on Saturday morning. He was talking about all this pain he had in his legs. Just amazing, in his feet too. He said, but I read this book called Born to Run. And I had just gotten the book a week earlier from my friend. So all these things are happening, and I thought, okay, I'm going to take matters in my own hands. This is how I'm going to do it. He said, you know, he teaches you how to run, teaches you how to run through pain and stop the pain. So I did that. I read the book, and it absolutely changed my life. These shoes are designed for you to go barefoot, right? There's nothing in it. There's no support. There's nothing in this shoe that supports your foot, which goes against every doctor, which goes against every philosophy out there. Even the running shoe companies will tell you you need to have support. This shoe actually allows you to have your foot work the way it was intended to do. We are hunters and gatherers, and our foot has 57 bones in it, and muscles all throughout the foot, and they act as a lunar landing. When you don't use the lunar landing device very right, and you put it in a shoe for years upon years, you lose musculature, and your foot atrophies. If you have an arch, your arch is like this, or an arch in a building. If you put something underneath that arch, you'll weaken it. Anybody who knows anything about structure knows that you weaken the arch. Same with your foot. So we've been walking around in shoes that have been cradling our feet forever. So then when I went out and ran 18, 20 miles on my foot said, no way. These shoes have helped me tremendously in a very short period of time. And I can tell you that I am learning how to run again to the help of this book. I'm learning how to do things, go through pain and get pain healed up on a pain scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the less pain, 10 being the most. I've gone from a 7 to 8 to a 1 or a 2 in a matter of a month and a half. I would encourage you to buy this book, read it if you're at all interested in running, and it will change your life. Thank you very much.